Learn by do. Learn by do. Okay, all kidding aside, we are going to learn together. We're going to learn how to do something by doing it. Today's project is to swap out the alternator here on the port side engine aboard a Boogaboo, our 1998 model year 330 Sea-Ray Sundancer. As I believe I mentioned a while back when I got this back in the winter when I was here, this side charges the port side batteries, and according to my gauge at the dash, it wasn't putting out the voltage. It was only putting out like it was well under 12 volts unless I pump that engine up over 1000, 12, 1400 rpm. Just give it a shot, bring it back down, then it would bounce up. But if we were just staying at idle speed, you know, between 600 800 rpm, under 1000 rpm, the voltage was down. So I had to give it some fuel. I had to give it some throttle to pick it up. So without doing any testing, because why would I test? I just went out and bought a new alternator. Remember, the boat is 1998. It's 2021 when I'm filming this, so that is 23 years ago. Oh my. These engines, there's two of them. Can you see that? Twin 454 Mercury 7.4 liter blue water inboard engines. V-drives actually, but the same thing. And they both have in around 1400 hours on them, and I would suspect that alternator down there, the one I'm going to be working on, is original from factory. The one on the starboard engine, did I say? Okay, anyways, we're working on the port engine. I can't remember what I just said, but port side engine. But the one on the starboard side looks like it's been replaced because they don't look the same, and it looks like aftermarket whatever. Hopefully it's marinized with spark arresting capabilities. So, like I said, I've never done this before, so you and I are going to learn how to do it together. I've taken them off, but that would have been like 40 years ago, something. I don't know, I don't remember, and I don't really care, so I'm just going to jump into it. But before I start taking things apart, I will do a comparison side by each before I take off the old one, which is right down there. I'm just going to look and see that it has all the same little doodads on the back, because we'll need the doodads to hook it back up, right? Okay, I just hit my head. But anyways, can you see that? There's the alternator. We're looking almost straight down to the bottom of the bilge on the port side of the engine. And there are the doodads that I was referring to. In just a second, I'm going to take the brand new one out of the box. Brand new. And we will look and compare. But I just want to point out to those of you who are new to the channel, that's new, that's new, that's new, that's been completely rebuilt, those are new, that's new, that line is new, ooh, that's new, rebuilt I think, but whatever, close enough. Pumps are new. What else is new? Done a lot of work on that generator, miscellaneous stuff on the engines. So I would encourage you, again, if you're new to the channel, that you go and look at my playlist, How I Did It, Boat Repairs and Upgrades playlist, because there's 80 plus videos, including this one. So all sorts of stuff. Now, I just want to give a caveat to that. I'm not a mechanic, neither do I play one on TV. So everything that I'm doing is learn by do. Take it apart, see how it works. If it's broken, get another one, a rebuilt one, a new one, whatever, fix it, put it back in and see how it works. So why do I do all this stuff? Because this is the only way that seriously that we can afford boating, because of all the stuff that I do on the boats all the time. Stuff always breaks down. Number one question is what's the fuel mileage on your boat? That drives me right around the bend. I have a video on that, but the bottom line is fuel, my friends, if you're just considering getting into boating, that's the worst of your problems. I'm gonna do a video on it, but we're 10 grand before this thing leaves the dock every year. So what? Yeah, never spend $10,000 in fuel. No, never once. Not even when we brought the last boat back from Michigan to here. Yeah, so like I said, it's the only way that we can afford to keep boating enjoyably is two things: to make sure that everything works, everything is fixed, and everything's operating correctly. That's the only way I'll fly, and the only way that can happen is if I do the vast majority of the work myself, because marine mechanics charge a lot of money. Whee! So this is what a brand new marine alternator looks like. That is all the information. I'm going to take a still shot of that and put it up on the screen for you. But it says Mercury Marine, part number, blah, blah, blah. Output 12 volts, 65 amps. Ground negative. Vendor part number, blah, blah, blah. Made by Mando in Korea. So, again, getting back to the fact that this is a marinized alternator. Never use an automotive one, because this is basically sealed from spark arresting, so that if you put an automotive one in here, it could very well blow up the boat. This won't blow up the boat, but a potential spark coming off a non-marinized alternator or anything electrical down the bilge pump could create a spark because of gas vapor. So always get proper marine stuff. Okay, again, I gotta put the camera down because I have to kind of hold this over beside that one and see what it looks like, and I will get back to you. First part of the process, I completely disconnected positive, negative, and all the accessories off of the house batteries, because we have two in parallel. Yeah, and then the next thing is to just remove the serpentine belt. This is easy because it has this little doily here. Just loosen that, and this will go up and down, tight and loosens. Wonderful. I replaced the belt tensioner. That's also on my channel in that playlist. Okay, so I was gonna do this with my GoPro camera, but guess what? There's no SD card in it. It's the first time for me. Anyways, so what I'm going to explain to you here, Lucy, is the mounting bolts on this. There's a bolt and a nut here, and these are metric. Don't know why, but they are number 14 in my case. So I'm going to remove that bolt, and then there's another guy. Oh, hopefully I'm not making you too dizzy. There's another one right here. Hopefully you can see that. So I got to take that one right out and that one in the bottom, and then it should come away. Come away with me. Yes, as I've said many times in the past, nothing is ever easy on this boat. Nothing. Case in point, we just had a bolt snap off in the old alternator. So now I can take the new alternator up to the office here in the marina. Hopefully they have a replacement one. Otherwise that's not going to happen today. So wish me luck again. So this is where I'm at. I went to the marine office, and fortunately they had what I was after. So if I spin that around like that, it's the same deal. There's only 4 wires. Don't ask me what they do. It's just that they do their thing that they're doing, and they're color coded, these two, which is awesome. Purple and red out on the new one. You can see those are just straight plug-ins. I hope those freaking things don't snap off. That would be twice in the last 2 weeks that would have happened. And then there's this guy here and the big one there. So I'm gonna guess that's positive and negative, which is, I'm gonna guess again, positive and negative. So I'll just take those nuts off, and then I can swing this one into place. Okay, just bring you up to speed rather than fight around with these quick disconnects on the old lines, because I don't trust them from not breaking. I'm simply undoing the nuts that are on the alternator, on the old alternator, and then I will do the same on the new alternator. Just open up the nuts there and bolt the wires directly to it, because like I say, I don't trust these things from not breaking, from not snapping. Can you see that, what I'm talking about, this dangly wire here? Okay, so there you go. So now I'm just, where I unbolted the other one, I'll just put that nut back on. But another thing I want to show you is I have the lower mounting bolt on this with the nut on it. I mean, it's not tight, it's just so that I can see the old one and see my where I'm disconnecting stuff, and then I can just drop that down. It's not going to go anywhere, and then make my new connections
Yeah, so I got pretty much all the connections done. I just that purple one, the red one, I just got to tighten up the nut on it. And then this one that we all agreed was the negative, but don't quote me on that, folks. Remember, we are learning together. And then it's just going to be this orange one, which I'm still going to assume is positive, to put back on here. But you see how easy that makes it the job? Apart from the fact that it's killing my back standing in this really odd angle. But oh well, such is the price of learning. Alrighty then. So all the wires are reconnected. Bolts are back in, and like I mentioned before, there's only a bolt up top, the one that snapped off that I had to get a new one of, and then this guy here, which is a nut, and a bolt and a nylock nut. If I do this long enough, I might charge the batteries. Problem is the batteries are still disconnected. So I got to put the belt back on, the serpentine belt, and then the batteries. Okay, let's see what the gauge on the dash says. Remember before at idle we were getting maybe 12 volts. So right now that's just over 14 at a slow idle. Just over 14 on the starboard side as well. So that's good. Problem solved. So that's it. Lesson learned. What did we learn today, kids? That by simple observation and taking things apart, that we could probably fix anything if we put our minds to it and our backs to it. The other thing I learned, that I was actually this close to asking the folks in the marina how much they would charge to install that, because I took the alternator up to the office anyways just to see how big that bolt was that snapped off the old one. But I just said to myself, you know what? You're this deep into it, and what would you guys on YouTube think of me if I gave it up to the marina? Anyways, yeah. So that's it. Another project in the books. Hopefully you found that informative. If nothing else, maybe entertaining. Like I say, look down in the description. Go to my playlist of my how I did it boating upgrades and repairs. Remember, it's not how to, it's how I did it. That's maybe not the best way, the only way, but it's my way, and it works, and it's working now, and I'm happy that I got it done. So that is job number 87,000 for this year, and I've only got oil changes, transmission fluids, oil changes, and that on the generator, but we'll see. Anyways, I hope to get out boating, and Anchor Girl and I are looking forward to do some cruising soon, so I may just do the oil changes and call it a day at that. Okay, so that's it. As always, look forward to your comments, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.